My name is Maddie Swagel, and I'm the U.S. Navy's first Black female tactical jet pilot. I don't think a goal in my life is to necessarily be the first at anything. That was never something that I set out to do. It was just something that I was interested in, and I found out later. My parents raised me, and they told me that I could be whatever I wanted to be. We would go see the Blue Angels when they were in town. I don't remember specifically how old I was, but they were just so cool. I love them. Yeah, I just love the fast planes.
To show up here at this level, you need to be a top performer, and then you have to continue to perform while you're here. These are the best pilots in the world that are trained here, the very best.
Oh, I was super excited, but also really intimidated. I remember driving down here for the first time, and it just seemed really daunting. It was crazy to be in such a higher performance aircraft. I was really excited on takeoff, like feeling the exhilaration and getting thrown back in the seat a little bit. That was awesome. It's fun because it is difficult at the same time. You know, like I know that I had to work to get it to behave, you know, and it took a lot of fighting the aircraft and figuring out how it was going to perform. So yeah, that was exciting. It's really rewarding to have the plane do whatever you want it to do, and that takes time, and you definitely notice yourself improving. Like looking back, it's amazing to think about where I started, and I'd never been in an airplane before, so it's just one step at a time, and it's really cool to think of all the things that I've done now, which I never thought that I'd be able to do.
It takes long hours, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and commitment to excellence, day in and day out. Every instructor here knows that we have a very high standard. The standard doesn't change. That is to be excellent in everything that you do. And she, just like all of her fellow wingies, met that standard of excellence, and they're going to go out and make all of us very proud.
Congrats. Thank you. After 3 years, that was a long journey, and there were times when I didn't think that I would make it, so that was kind of scary, but I'm glad that I kept pushing and we're here and I get to continue. I am really honored that I get to wear the wings and get to fly planes and call myself a pilot.
You know, I've been in the Navy almost 20 years and served with people from all races, colors, creeds, genders, and it was surprising to hear that she could be a pioneer. And once it was confirmed, it was like, well, this is really exciting. And this was probably with her only having about 3 flights remaining in the syllabus.
So I think that representation is important because we are a very diverse nation. So I would like everyone to believe that they can achieve whatever they want to do.
This profession is open to anybody with the drive and motivation willing to put in the work and the sacrifice that comes along with it. I hope that it inspires far more women and people of all kinds of diverse backgrounds to look at this as a great career choice. And it doesn't matter who you are, what you look like, where you came from. Once we have the uniform on, we're all on the same team, and we all are trying to accomplish the same mission.
I guess I hope that my legacy will be that there will be a lot of other women and minority women and just different faces that come forward and at least give the pipeline a shot, you know, like be encouraged and know that they have all the tools that they need and, you know, follow their dreams.
There's always going to be a first at some point, and here it is in 2020. She's it. U.S. Navy's first black female tactical jet aviator. It may be a long time coming, but here she is, and there's going to be more to follow now.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me tonight on Real Talk with Jean Price. I am so excited about this month. I hope you are too, because this is Women's Month. Oh my goodness, we have so many wonderful things we're going to be doing this month. Each year, Women's History Month offers an important opportunity for us to highlight, to celebrate, and to acknowledge the achievements of women of all cultures. This is the time that we support each other the most, we acknowledge each other the most, This is a time to create a community of supporters and believers. This is the time to show another sister that, you know what, you do not stand alone. You know, I thought about Maya Angelou, and she had some beautiful quotes that she offered for women. And one of them, she said, we may encounter many defeats, but guess what? We won't be defeated. She also said, no matter what happens and how bad it seems today, life does go on and it will make a better tomorrow. So grateful tonight to have this wonderful guest on my show. It's going to be a great show, but I have some great announcements that I want to talk to you about first. Guess what? Real Talk is going to be featured every Friday, 1 p.m. on Inspired Living Network. And we want you to write in the comments. We want you to put like, share, invite, tell some women to come on. Even tonight, come on, go out there and write it right in your comments. Say, I love it. Say, we're here. We are here. Now, do you see what I have on tonight? I hope you guys can see it. I want you to see, this is Real Talk's shirt. Look at this. This is part of the entrepreneurship that I do. I'm so excited about it. And I hope you can see that this is Real Talk with Jean Price, and these are for sale. And we are putting it out there. This is our signature. This is what we do. Look at that. You can get it in black. You can get it in white. Being real is our power. And that's what Real Talk is all about. Talking about real issues, talking about real dialogue, and about things that are going on in the world. And most importantly, things that go on with all of us. So again, I'm so excited to be a part of the Inspired Living Network, which is our first show, which will be airing this Friday. I want you to join us every Friday. Look at what the Lord has done, and it is marvelous in our eyes. So I'm excited about my guest tonight. She's been on the show before, and she's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. In fact, she is known as the Olivia Pope of HR. She has an organization. It's called Boss Up, and you don't want to miss tonight's show. You want to hear what she has to say. Ladies and gentlemen, supporters and viewers, help me welcome Miss Joy Pittman to Real Talk with Jean Price.
Hello, everyone, and hi, Jean. I'm so excited to be back and excited to be a part of this conversation. So thank you for having me. And I love the shirt. I'm gonna have to get mine. So.
Put your order in. And no, in fact, just because you're a guest on my show tonight, you get one for free. Just send me your size. I got you. I got it. I'll take care of it. But Joy, thank you for being back. And listen, tell me what's been going on since we've talked last.
Wow. So we've done a little bit of rebranding. So I see Lauren here from the Boss Up community in Asia. So we've done a little bit of rebranding. We got a little bit more intentional about calling out who we were here for. So we were originally doing business as JBP Legacy. Now we are HR for the culture. So we're just kind of staying on brand and on assignment. What is it we do? We're also launching. So HR for the culture is an outsourced HR and direct hire staffing firm for Black businesses who are looking to scale and grow, focusing on leadership development, team development, and culture, right? Creating amazing cultures. Our goal really is to increase and to expand the options for Black employees, but also about helping Black employers grow and thrive. And so we were thinking about all this Black talent that has come up in the last year, all these diversity hires that people are doing, and wanting to give Black talent other options to work that are viable, where they can earn real money, have benefits, et cetera. So we're working with businesses to help create that type of environment. And then we're in the middle of launching Melanated Moguls, which is a support group. It's a membership program for women who haven't hit the six-figure mark yet, but are trying to get there in their businesses. So we're helping them with some of the HR, hiring, team, leadership development support that they need on that journey. So those are things that we dug into. We also got some amazing news while we were prepping for the show that we've been selected for a program through Comcast Rise. And so they'll be giving us a media presentation for a 90-day period on their network. So I'm really, really, really excited about that. So that's hot off the press. No one knows that part yet. So you guys are the first to hear it and joining in that. And so I'm uber excited. And literally, we've just been getting clearer, and we've been trying to boss up. So I'm excited about this conversation and just being able to talk about our growth and help other businesses that are in a different phase of growth, maybe learn from some of our lessons, from some of our mistakes, and to help them in any way that we can.
That's beautiful, Joy. You know, even as we're sitting here talking, my mind is spinning because to your point, it's been so much going on, of course, with COVID-19 and everything's so different. So here it is.
Yes.
Imagine you having a woman out there that says, you know what, I want to get out there. I want to start a business. What are the first steps, or better way said, what tools? How do they start?
How do I start? So first of all, I think, so one of the first things we need to think about is, what is the concept? What is it that we are trying to present as a business? What are we selling? What are we giving? What are we putting out there? And is there a viable market for it? And have we thought about that market in a way that allows us to present the thing that we are selling and giving to that market? And the reason that I say that is because often many of us start businesses just like I did initially because of the thing that everybody wanted me to do or the thing that everybody was asking me for. So I will tell people, when I first started business, I was trying to transition out of being the hey girl. Hey girl, let me ask you a question. Hey girl, can I get some advice? Hey girl, can you help me do this or that? So I was literally just trying to get paid for my time because people were pulling on my time and not adding value to it. Since that, I've gone through about 4 iterations. I had, I started with just doing strategy consulting work. I wasn't going to do HR. Then I pivoted into coaching and leadership development. And then it became, but I think that had I sat earlier and thought about what were the things that I brought to the table, what were the things that went into what I was looking to market, I would have saved a little bit of trial and error time, right? Like not all of it, but a touch of it, just a little bit of it would have been saved in navigating through this idea of doing all this, trying to figure out what people wanted. So ideally, I would say take a list of, one, why do you want to go into business? So what are you looking to accomplish through entrepreneurship? Are you looking for financial freedom? Are you looking like legacy building? Are you looking to generate wealth? What is that thing that you're looking for? What are you looking to market? What are you looking to sell? What are you looking to put forward? Who else is doing it? And how are you different? How are you serving a market slightly differently? Or how are you targeting a market that's not already being targeted? Or how are you doing it in an area where everybody else is not already doing it? What sets you apart? And then thinking about the investment from the door. Because oftentimes I've seen people go into business in a way where they're literally just trying to employ themselves. So I was making money over here and I'm trying to make this money here. And what happens is that we still are putting our business money, we're treating it like a paycheck. We're not thinking about it as the investment that needs to be back in our business. So a lot of what I'm working to do when I'm working with business owners is the first thing people say is, I'm drowning. I'm doing everything. I'm doing my marketing. I'm doing my media. I'm doing my finances. I'm doing all the things. And then when I mention to them, okay, well, let's think about how you can leverage your time, buy back your time, right? With money, it's like, but I can't afford it. Mm-hmm. And the biggest transformations we're seeing with people is when we're saying, so what can't you afford? And they're like, what's this number that you've decided you can't afford? But the idea is we're treating the money, if it's $500, I'm already allocating that $500 to a bill, to something else. I'm not thinking about that money as something that can bring back more money, right? Every dollar has a friend. So we're not thinking that way. And so I think that a lot of times we have great concepts, especially Black women. We are innovative. We are amazing. We are resilient. We are all those things. But we stay in our businesses as solopreneurs, or we struggle too hard and too long because of that one mindset shift around, am I going into business or am I building myself a job? And I think these are some of the things that I would hope, if we had time, that individuals could sit with and kind of grapple with and walk through with each other. Join a group, join a coaching community, join, if it's not Boss Up, I think Boss Up is an amazing community, but if it's not us, join a community where people are going to challenge you on some of those things. I'm also a part of another community called Traffic, Sales, and Profit. Join there, but join something that holds you accountable for getting past all that stuff. And walking through and thinking through, what does it mean to start a business, right? Because that's very different than giving yourself another job.
That's right.
That you make your own payment for. Right. Starting a business is very different. So I'm going to pause there because I know I said a lot of stuff. I'm just going to pause there and open it back up for dialogue.
No, it's fine. And listen, to our viewing audience, if you have questions for Joy, start chiming in, start commenting, start liking, just put it all in the chat. Joy, you said a word that sticks out and I'm very familiar with it because my husband and I are entrepreneurs as well. You kept using the word investment. which return ROIs is a return on your investment. I love the word investment because you have to invest in something that you find valuable.
Yep.
And trying to get entrepreneurs or people that are trying to go into that kind of world to understand. I love what you said. It's an investment into your future, your life, whatever legacy you plan on leaving. Is it hard to convince women? And the reason I'm holding on women, not that it's not with men because it's Women's Month. Is it hard to convince women of that type of mindset, that understanding that it's an investment and you have to invest? And case in point is I went through years. I remember, my credit was all messed up years ago. And one day I said to myself, Joy, in order for me to have what I need to have for my future, I had to take the tools and invest and make myself credit worthy.
Yes.
So how do we help women to become worthy or credit worthy or teach investing? Because I think that is such a valuable tool, because it didn't just help me with my credit. It helped me with me.
Yeah.
It helped me understand my mindset and what I really wanted on my ROI.
Right. So one thing that I will say is, one, transparency is part of the conversation, right? I'm looking at this beautiful, so I'm on the back side of this screen. I'm looking at this backdrop. I joined on a little bit earlier, so I get to see that people are doing production and things are being set up. And I even look at this show. What people are looking at and experiencing right now is a result of an investment. You did not decide you were going to throw up a camera in your living room, right? And you was going to do your own graphic, and you was going to hand color your own t-shirt. Everything that we are looking at and experiencing right now is the result of an investment, right? You had to put something out to get something back in. And I think one of the things so here's what I will say. I don't think that Black women have a problem investing.
Okay.
Look at our hair, look at our clothes, look at our shoes, look at our makeup, these faces beat, glasses cute, right? So we don't necessarily have a problem investing. What I will say is that there are times where we have an issue or where we haven't been taught how to invest or what to invest in, because investment is really about putting your money into something that you find valuable, right? So for every woman that's watching this that has more than 5 pairs of shoes, for every woman that's watching this that has 8 tubes of makeup, same shade of red in 3 different tones that nobody knows the difference between but you, 5 Black pocketbooks of different sizes because you got one for church, one for the club, one for work, like all these things that we have, we're constantly making monetary investments. We're putting out money consistently on things that we value. So the problem sometimes is about shifting our value system, right? If I'm looking at building a business, if I'm looking at building up myself, does it mean that during the season that I'm building up my credit worthiness, I don't get to be cute? That my cute levels take a shift, that I got to buy that outfit from Target, from Target, right? And I can't get to go to my favorite store. So how do we start shifting our mindsets around investment? And I think that we're starting that shift more and more as we start talking about legacy building and dynasty building, dynastic wealth building, right? And thinking about generationally, what are we leaving behind? What does it mean to be self-sustainable? What does it mean to actually, if you had to go in and liquidate all the things in your closet, what would that look like? If I had to liquidate this Michael Kors section of my shoe closet, how much money would I actually get back versus what I put in? And so the idea is about being able to put in money into things that don't have immediate tangible. Your credit score didn't have an immediate tangible, right? It had to grow, it had to develop, it had to move up. And so often in business, the things that you invest in don't have the immediate tangible. The building, the platform, the going live every week, every day, whatever that looks like, the elevating your thing, the idea that while you can do everything, it doesn't make sense for you to do everything, and owning and accepting, which we don't do well, that somebody actually can do the thing that we thought we were good at better than us. So there are things that we have to relinquish. There are things around trust, right? When we unpack all the things that we navigate as Black women, we were taught to be self-sufficient, not to ask nobody for nothing. You know, if you ask people for something, if you owe somebody a favor, then you indebted to them, and what that means. We have to divorce all that nonsense in this business space and say, listen, I'm not asking for favors. I am looking for support to build my business. I'm thinking about what it means to pay that graphic artist. I'm thinking about what it means to pay that media person, what it means to hire somebody to do the thing that I can absolutely do, but it's not worth my time to do. Right? So the same way we are clear that we can't do our own hair, right? And we need to go somewhere and get that relaxed and get whatever that is done. We need to be thinking about what are the other things that we can embrace that we don't have to be great at. Most CEOs are not great at most of the things in the business. What most CEOs are great at is identifying what they're not great at and finding people to do those things so that the business will thrive. And so those are some of the mindset shifts. And so how do we get people to do it? One, I think as Black women in business, there is a space for transparency. So I have to talk about the fact that, like, while I have a 6-figure business, as of December, we hit 6 figures in our first year fully operating. We hit that benchmark. I didn't see 6 figures of profit. I did not walk away with $100,000 stuffed into my pocket. I had to pay staff. I had to pay for professional development. I had to pay for coaching. I had to pay for things. So out of that $100,000 or more number that we saw, I might have seen, when I look at all the numbers, I might have seen 20-something thousand. And that is a shock, because in my corporate life, I was making 6 figures and I was seeing at least a good 70K of that money. And now over here, I'm making the same numbers. I've replaced the numbers, but what I'm seeing is different. Why? Because the investment is mine.
Right.
Exactly. Because as working for somebody else, the CEO had to worry about all those other expenditures, the computer that I worked at, the chair that I sat in, right? But it's still worth it to do, because I'm still hitting those benchmarks. So I think that's the part of being transparent. When I see all these people talking about 6 and 7 figures, they don't have profit margins. I work with businesses that are at 7 figures that have no profit margins because their expenses and their revenue are running neck and neck. But we have to talk about that, because people are not really thinking about business ownership in our community as a clear way. It's not a quick come up. It is work. And the possibility is that if I have children, my children or my nieces and nephews, this is a generation away from me that might actually see the wealth that I'm building today, that I may not actually see that wealth, but I'm building the foundation for it. And if we think about this, and I'm going to pause, if we then do research on what wealth building looks like, and I want to say this to help free somebody. We talk about the Rockefellers. We talk about all these other people that we know as wealthy now. But if you research where the Rockefellers started their coin, a lot of that stuff was an illegal activity. They didn't start off rich, right? When you start thinking about some of the things, prohibition, like if you think back historically, some of that money did not just come from grind, bootstrapping, whatever. So if we can model and idealize people, right, others who got to their wealth however they got to it, why are you ashamed to drive Lyft? Why can't you Airbnb? Why can't you work that side hustle to build the income legally, right, and honestly and integrally that you need to build? Why can't you take out that loan? Why can't you? Because they didn't just roll up one morning and start with $2 and rub the dollars together and turn them into $4. A lot of their startup money came from things that we wouldn't necessarily do. But why have we decided that we can't grind to get where we need to get? And when I say grind, I'm not talking about random.
Right.
I'm talking about pointed and strategic grinding. But there are things that we have told ourselves, our pride, how we sit in the community. My Lyft card, my Lyft is activated. And at any point I will get in my car and drive somebody where they need to go, if that's what it requires to pay for that new website, to pay for that new item that I need in my business, right? Those are the things we have to think about. And so we wrapped our minds even in believing that other people just got it all handed to them. Well, yeah, they're handing it to each other now, but they started somewhere. So Bible, don't despise your small beginning. Identify what it is that you have in your hand. Maximize it. And nothing legal or integral should be beneath you as you're thinking about what it needs to be to generate the revenue. Apply for those grants. Ask people like, hey, you know, people dropping Cash App for everything else. Hey, I need a new website to promote my business. Is anybody willing to invest $20 in my? There are things that are affordable to us. We just don't ask for it because we don't have. Someone said, you know, have the audacity of mediocre white men. And I don't hope I'm not messing up this conversation by saying that. But what they're essentially saying is they don't see barrier the way we do. That everything is accessible to them. And we have to think more about what is actually available to us and accessible, and not let our pride create barriers that really don't have to exist.
And you know what's so interesting, Joy, as you're talking, the word that came to me was limitations. Why do we limit ourselves? Why do we limit ourselves? Why do we see ourselves? And I love what you're saying, because I never value the gift that God has given me for interior design. So you mentioned the backdrop. If you were like Damar and Brian have been in our home, pastor in our home, and when they walk through here, every room represents something, but I didn't value the gift of it. I've had people, especially at this point, come to me and say, we want you to open a business. We want you to do this. We want you to do interior design. But it wasn't until I took a look at it. And another word you said tonight, and I hope the viewers listen, chime in the chat. So because Joy is here to answer your questions and give you some feedback. Another thing that's good to look at is that why do we see ourselves as less? Do you think that's the mindset and the culture that we've been trained to have, to think that we can't do it? And then the other thing, I know I'm giving you a bunch of points, but the get rich quick don't work.
It doesn't.
It doesn't work.
It's not sustainable.
You could talk to my husband any day. It does not work.
Yeah.
So how do you change the mindset? And you did hit on a lot of the points that probably I'm mentioning, but it was so good listening to you.
Yeah.
How do we begin to change the mindset? You have women my age. I'm in my 50s. You have the millennials that are starting out. But how do you first change the mindset?
So, one of the things that I will say is, and I think it is a testament to actually how amazing we are. We just haven't been told that way. We are so gifted that people see what we do and they're like, why don't you start a business? And you're like, what? I'm just hanging drapes. Like we have literally, because we've always been that, right? When we think about the country we live in, don't think it lightly that the wealthiest country in the world for a while, I don't know if we're still there anymore, I doubt we are, was built on the backs of our labor, the labor of our ancestors, because that is how amazing we are, right? So I think that the first thing is around context. I started this thing and I say it to myself all the time. The picture is the picture. So whatever I'm looking at, y'all looking at me right now, what y'all see is what y'all see, what I look like is what I look like, but I get to choose the frame. I get to choose how I frame, right, what I'm looking at. And so we start thinking about often the things that we're gifted to do. Like I said, I was just the hey girl. People just ask me questions. I had put it into the box of I'm just smart, I'm just analytical, I'm just quick thinking, I'm just, right? And I had also said, and I've said it, and I have to stop saying is that, well, my brain is my gift. I don't have a lot of other talents. Well, that's the thing I can do. I can think, right? And when you say it that way, even that is a diminishing statement. So there are times where we have to be able to listen to when people walk into our homes and they're like, wow. When people eat our food and they're like, oh my gosh, I've never eaten anything. When we go ahead and get them baby hairs laid or whatever it is that we're doing, these are the things that we're able to do. When we're able to make financial changes and decisions and, all the things that we're doing thoughtlessly, we have to be able to listen to the wow section.
Yes.
Stop for a moment and listen to the folks that are saying, wow, oh my gosh, who did that? You did that? Those are start to become markers in the fact that we are doing things that are not necessarily commonplace, that everybody cannot do. Everybody cannot decorate. Everybody cannot identify things that need to be hung and how you can accentuate a room. And I have a client who had $100,000 month in the month of February doing the thing that you're minimizing. That's right? People are talking about 6-figure years. Right. She had a 6-figure month doing interior design.
Wow.
Right? So it is about being able to think about what our skills are. And then it's also, everything can't be through the mindset of what I value and what my friends and family value. What is the market saying about my skill? So I would challenge every person. What do you do? If you do accounting, if you do finance, if you do interior work, even if it's a skill that you have, what is the market for my skill? It may not be the thing that I have to do forever. It may not even be my passion, but it's a marketable skill. And we do it in the 9-to-5 space. If somebody said to you, hey, my last job, I was an underwater basket weaver. I know what the market is for underwater basket weaving, right? Because I've researched my salary. I know what they were paying me. Why don't we know the value of our skills in the market as entrepreneurs? So I should be able to list the things that I do well. And at any point, think about COVID and the pivot. At any point, I need to be able to, at any point during COVID where people are trapped in their houses looking at their ugly decor, here comes Jean to help me think about how to look at this space differently. Here comes Jean to show me how I can not be nervous to turn on my screen on Zooms because my paintings are crooked and my walls look funny, right? Here you come, and that's a thing to pivot to, because I believe, and we think about it from a biblical perspective, think about the Garden of Eden. You know, God basically said, here's this garden. Be fruitful and multiply. He didn't tell them what to do. He said, here's the garden, here's him. He didn't say sell the fruit or do. He said, be fruitful and multiply. So we have conditioned ourselves to think that we're only good at what church says we're good at. We're only good at what our jobs paid us for. Every single skill that you have in your hand is a be fruitful and multiply moment. Everything that he's given you is a potential talent. So what talents are we burying, right? What things are we putting in the ground and just waiting for God to come back and tell us to get out of here? Right? Are we like the one with the 5 that goes in and increases each one? Because he has to have increased each talent significantly, right? So think to go through your list, ask people, what would you pay me to do? And don't ask folks that will never pay you for nothing. Find people that can be reputable. Talk to folks, but really start doing that research. And I think one of the things, it is mindset, because we've been taught just to be better than. Be better than everybody else, be 5 times as good, to just be equaled out. So we've always taught that. So half of what we are able to do, we minimize because it's part of the be 10 times better than. And I do think that there has to become a point where, yes, I still believe that I have to be 10 times better than a consultant that doesn't look like me in credibility. I already know I'm walking in. I don't look old enough. I don't look professional enough. My hair is purple. I get it, right? All my verb conjugation is not always intact. So I do understand that, like, my credentials and my resume, those things have to be there. But also, while we're being 10 times as good, mark it down. I'm 10 times better than everybody else at this, right? What resilience and what marketability comes with being 10 times better than everybody else at a thing? And so when we start thinking about that, I think the first mindset shift is, and it's something that we talk about. I have friends that I see on here. It's like crown adjustments. Are we able to tell sis, you good at that, sis? You do that better than nobody else. Are we good at doing that? Are we good at helping each other with the mindset shift? One of the things that I've been committed to this year is not haggling prices. If a sister comes to me and I know that I need her service and the numbers within my budget, I'm going to pay her price. Why? Because how else do we have positive experiences with people paying us our value when we don't pay each other? I can't tell you, sis, get your worth. Come on, queen, get what you get. And then when you come to me with an invoice, I'm like, oh, but I only want to pay 1/3 of that. How am I reinforcing for her, right? That she can actually get her value in the market. That's another thing that we can actually do to build each other up, right? And I think as we create those moments for each other, as we center each other, as we get more confident, I deal with it every day. Whenever I see a new HR person coming into a circle that I'm in, I have to always check myself to say, Joy, you do what you do, right? Now I don't have to give them my secret sauce. I don't have to tell them all my secrets, but I don't have to block them either. These are the things that we have to do to start to positioning ourselves to be literally in the space where we need to be. And then we also need to lean in on community. So I'm looking at this screen and I see a couple people in the comments. Candace Ledbetter is an amazing PR person. I would actually love to connect you guys. Amazing in PR work, does amazing work, does PR for notable names. And we have a circle of individuals where I do the HR, she drops her PR tips, right? We have somebody else that navigates LinkedIn. So we are supporting each other as being each own board of directors. Another person does IT work, right? That support level is, I can't afford to pay for everything, but I can barter my skills for hers. And we put together a group where we're not all singing the same song, right? We all have different needs, but we all have different value. I think those moments, sitting in circles with amazing, smart women who look like me, who are like, girl, that was amazing. Where did you come up with that idea? And I'm like, it was, wasn't it? Even that reinforces, right, my ability to show up to the rest of the world. So I think it is a hard shift. It's a hard shift. I don't want to reduce it to just change your mindset, get it together. It's not about affirmations in the way that we do them, because sometimes we're chanting things. Like we're like, I'm going to use this as the best one I got. No matter how much I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and say I am thin, it is not true. I cannot affirm myself enough. I am thin while I eat this pizza. I am thin. while I eat these cookies. I cannot do that and make it true. But what I can say is that I can affirm that today I'm going to make the right choices that will allow me in the near future to be in the body that I am comfortable with. That is an affirmation I can make. And some of us are chanting things that we don't believe. So we're doing all these affirmations and saying stuff that we know ain't true, that we're not putting the work behind, rather than talking ourselves into the action that it requires to get it done. So you can get up every morning and claim yourself a six-figure business if you want to, and that's great. But I think the more powerful affirmation is that I am somebody that is skilled and capable. Yes. I have resources at my disposal, that there are people looking to partner with me, and I am open to trusting those partnerships, right? Those are the things that now require us to show up and to put us in a good framework to get to those numbers, right? To get to those places. But the first part really is, I think we have to create positive experiences for ourselves and each other. And that's where I think my friend Omega always says, go where the love is, right? And I believe that when we're thinking about in our businesses, well, how are we going? Not where the comfort is, because that's not the same.
That is the difference. And that is
where's the love? Where is the truth? Where is the honesty? Where is the get you together? Who are the people that are going to tell you that your cake don't taste good, and so that you should not sell that, sis, right? Because I think there's another part of us, and I'll pause here. There's another part of us that is not honest with each other. And so in the name of support, we're going to buy it. You're going to sell out at your launch, but your business will never take off. Because your launch was full of people that wanted to be nice but didn't want to be honest. So they came and bought one of everything. They're never going to wear it. They're never going to eat it. They're never going to taste it. They're never going to use it. They're never going to promote it because we weren't being able to be honest. And so that also that part of being able to give truth and receive it is extremely important, right? So that we also are not battering people up to build businesses that we know are not going to be sustainable, not from a hater perspective, but just we see the issues with them, right? So those are the things that we need to really be thinking about. I think the mindset shift, faith, it says, comes by hearing. Yes. We have to be in the space to hear the things, to hear conversations of successful Black women, to find groups of successful Black women, people that are not struggling, right? Follow them, follow Jean, get on these lives, see the individuals that she is bringing on, right? See the people that she's centering, follow them, follow their audiences, get in those conversations, find rooms. You have to find places that affirm the mindset you want to go towards, and you have to hold yourself accountable for being in those spaces as well, because they're going to challenge you. They are. But you have to, that's the biggest mindset shift. It's not about chanting something different. It's literally our minds change when our experiences change. And what we believe to be true changes. And so that's a big part of the mindset shift.
And, it's so true. You said, again, so many key points I can just jump on. But I love what you said about the difference for being nice and being honest.
Yeah.
That right there is just plain powerful, because you can be in a room where you're just being nice to somebody. You don't really want to tell somebody the truth. But of course, the word of God tells us that truth is the thing that sets us free. Whom the Son has set free is free indeed. That's what I was thinking about. But a lot of people struggle with that, Joy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it comes from intimidation. I don't know if it comes from rejection. I don't know where it comes from, because we all come from different backgrounds. We all have gone through different things, and, so forth, so on. But laying a playing field, or to your point, we even talked about it earlier, a community, or, a group of people, a group of women that can get up under you. When do you see the transition take place, where a woman was once intimidated or feeling inadequate, opposed to somebody saying, okay, I think I got it? Because let me be transparent and talk about myself.
Sure.
When I knew that I did some things about my life that had to change, sometimes it's hard to look in the mirror. And I think one of the greatest things in what you're saying is being able to look in the mirror and being able to see yourself and take an audit of yourself and realize there's things that need to be changed.
Yeah.
Why do you think we struggle with that as Black women?
Because there's a space where self-awareness and self-acceptance have to coincide for it not to go wrong. So I don't think that Black women have a problem with self-awareness. People are constantly telling us who we are. They're telling us about, whether we're ghetto. They're telling us we're aggressive. We got the angry Black girl face. There's plenty of stuff about how we are. There's research about what we are. We are more educated. We have more degrees. We have all the things, all the information about who we are. I think the problem is that when you have a whole lot of stats and information without context or without the ability to unpack and navigate that information, what it becomes is that every new piece of truth becomes another thing, another judgment, another critique, right? We're not able to embrace it as building blocks because the entire world is critiquing us. From our bodies, our hair, our attitudes, our personalities, our wealth, our ability to raise our children, our households, etc. We're constantly being critiqued. So I think that there has to be a point where we're able to understand that the world's assessment of who we are has its place, right? It does have its place as it relates to us being able to successfully navigate the world and think about what that looks like. But the other part of it is that our own assessment and acceptance of ourselves also has its own place and value. And so if I'm able to then say, yep, the world says all these things about me, some of it is true. Sometimes I am the angry Black girl and I have the right to be, right? I think that's the other part, is that we don't get validation with critique. So one of the things that I don't know that it's hard for us to accept critique because we take it a lot. I think it is hard for us to understand how to take constructive criticism because we just get a lot of criticism. So what is the criticism that I need to bear up and strengthen and fortify myself to defend myself against, right? Because the world's trying to tear me down. Right, and what is the critique that I need to open myself up to receive? Because someone's trying to build me up. And I think if we can figure out that part, right? If we can figure out how to best filter the critique that the world is throwing at us constantly to make us reduce, to shrink, to devalue, to demoralize ourselves, versus the critique that's literally coming to fortify and edify us, I think that's the first step. But that first open level of critique, being able to filter effectively, is some moments of self-honesty. It may start at therapy. It may start with a coach. It may start with a trusted person that you are capable of being vulnerable with and be honest to. And then also there's some self-acceptance moments that have to occur, right? So we'll use my early example about standing in the mirror and talking about how skinny I'm gonna be if I just keep eating whatever I want to eat, right? In that moment, though, I have to be okay with where I'm at. I have to be okay with still showing up, right? As I'm working on the things that I'm working on, I still have to be okay understanding that I'm valuable in this place. I still have to command respect in this place. I still have to make people clear that I want to work on me, but not to the degree that you can treat me like trash, because I'm still recognizing that there's growth. Right. So even in our businesses, my business made me where I needed to be, but I'm still not cheap. I'm still not free. You still don't get to come in here and get these services that I know even in this level where all my automation's not working and all my graphics not up and my website with the typos on it. The service I provide is still worth $350. So I'm not giving it to you for $25.
That's right.
And when I get all that stuff set up, it'll be 500, 700, 1,000 once I tidy up all the other stuff, but I'm not going to devalue myself because of imperfections. And I think what we have been taught is that because we're not perfect, we don't have value. So we have to be able to sit in the space of understanding that even broken things have value, right? We're in a concept of broken and throw it away, but I have some things, I have some belts, I got some dresses that the zipper don't work. And because I value the dress, I'm still safety pin in the back. Okay. I got some things that I know I got to take to the cleaners. There's some things that we've broken in our lives, and because of the value, we don't throw it away. We look to repair it. We have to start seeing ourselves the same way. We are things that may be broken. We may have cracks, crevices. We may have issues, right? But those breaks are thin things that need to help, that we need to focus on fixing, but they do not give permission for us or anyone else to throw us away. And I think that becomes the difference. So that self-honesty work, I'm an advocate for coaching. I'm an advocate for therapy. I'm an advocate for talking to somebody in a safe place that has no vested interest in the outcome, that you can unpack your stuff. But we also have to understand that no matter how broken I am, no matter what I'm going through today, I have value. I don't care if I got to pick myself up the floor. If I get on a call with a client, my price is my price. Right?
You know,
and if I'm holding it together with tape and glue on the back, that's what I got to do to get where I need to go.
Right.
But we have accepted too long that lack of perfection means lack of value, and that's not true.
We're going to take a commercial, but we're going to take a commercial, but when we go, I want my guys to put up on the screen, even broken things have value. That alone, listen, that was powerful. That alone, on top of everything else. But somebody tonight, Joy, thank you for that, needed to hear you say that even broken things have value. Listen, you need to put in the chat. You need to put like. You need to tell people we still have time. We still have a few minutes with Joy Pittman, who's absolutely phenomenal. And when we come back from commercial, she's going to tell us a little bit about a couple of clients that she has, because we have about maybe 10 more minutes on the show tonight. I'll be right back after this commercial. Stay tuned. I haven't been live on Real Talk with Jean Price. Upcoming on Real Talk with Jean Price. Become that warrior to that other sister. I dare everybody that's listening to your voice, that I can see the feed, that's listening to my voice. I dare each one of these sisters to get behind somebody else. We don't know what they're facing. My guest tonight, he had an opportunity to be on the Ellen Show, and I'm so excited to have him with me today to tell us about his story. But it wasn't just that. He has a lot to offer. I want you all to sit and listen. Mr. Malachi Davis is in the house tonight. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Price. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. You see a lot of kids in their own life or lower their expectation because of what people tell them. And I just want them to know that, like, no, that's the moment you do that is the moment you're okay with being mediocre and you're okay with accepting what society gives you. And it's like, we live in a world where anything is possible, you know, if you believe in yourself. Anything is possible if you step out of your comfort zone and take that step. So I would just want them to know that, you know, that's important.
Welcome back to Real Talk with Jean Price. We are having a wonderful discussion, and Joy Pittman is dropping jewels tonight, encouraging us. I mean, I couldn't even type fast enough in the private chat. When you said, talking about being broken and has brokenness has value, I could have just stopped the show right there and just kept going. But we only have a couple more minutes. And Joy, can you tell us a little bit really quickly about, I think you have a client who something amazing happened with Target.
Yeah, so I'm really, really excited. I hope that I'm using this to just hopefully empower. Most of my clients, predominantly all of my clients, are Black women entrepreneurs in the service-based e-commerce space. And so without letting all the tea out the bag, because I'm not sure how much of their business I can tell, and I'll list some of my clients: FB Candle Company, Izzy and Liv, which is a style brand for Black women. We support urban intellectuals that is interested in educating Black children. I have a number of other clients. I don't want to get in trouble by trying to name them all. Naturalicious is a hair care brand. We're supporting Chic Geeks, which does actually they create, covers and things like that for your technology, right? So they help you with technology wear, keep your technology cute. So we have an array of clients doing a lot of different things. And I've left some people out, so I'm gonna get in trouble for that. But I'm excited about the fact that our clients, predominantly Black women, are being featured in Target, Macy's Backstage. One of the clients we have, Chic Geeks, is featured in Neiman Marcus and Saks Fifth Avenue, right? Which is a big deal for a Black-owned designer to be in both of those stores at the same time, right? They're being featured on news channels, right? Gwen Jameer of Naturalicious was featured on CNBC and different things. So I want to say that to say it's not really bragging rights for me, right? These are not my features. They are theirs. They're their wins. But I wanted to say that these are individuals who started businesses, most of them on their own, most of them bootstrapping, and then getting grants and support along the way. And so if I can use that to center for this conversation, that Black women are being successful in the entrepreneurial space. I know the stats around our businesses say that we average $24,000, $28,000 a year in our businesses. Every business that I just named has broken the 7-figure barrier, right? And so I want to make sure it be clear that there are businesses that are growing. They're being featured in real spaces. Right? They're not only existing online, and not that I'm minimizing online. I have another friend, she's not my client, but her name is Brianna McCarthy, Breon Browse. She was literally featured on The View last month on their things to buy. So these companies are growing, and they're women, right? They're Black women who are growing and thriving. So I want to say that we literally can do anything that we set our minds to. We literally can achieve whatever it is that we want to achieve. And so I want you guys to use their testimonials. I use their testimonials, right? I haven't hit that number that they've hit yet in my business, but I use their testimonials and their growth as an indicator, right? They are my indicator that I can get it done too. And hopefully they can be them, or some other businesses can be your indicators that you can hit those numbers and hit those marks in your business as Black women, right? Still figuring out, still navigating it. And I really, really, really hope that it inspires you guys, and it inspires me. So I hope it inspires you all as well, in the very same way.
Well, this was great. And Cynthia just wrote, Joy, this is to you. This is global information. So encouraging to just start my own shirt line, Joy, You Rock. So you have encouraged people tonight, and people have been chiming all evening, all night. Joy, you Boss Up Wednesday. Yeah, this was good. It's always a pleasure when you come on Real Talk with Jean Price. You always bring value. That's the thing. You always bring something for us to take away. And my husband used this term, a takeaway. You always give us something that we can take back with us. So again, I am so glad for everyone that tuned in tonight to Real Talk with Jean Price. Listen, look up Joy Pittman. Search her out. Go ahead, see what she's about. She's amazing. What she offers to the community is absolutely phenomenal. You will gain value by understanding her value. And she is worth, the nuggets that she just dropped tonight was worth it all. And listen, whatever the course is, Joy, listen, I hope and pray that more clients come out, because you really do bring something that, it causes you to think. It causes you to reevaluate, and it causes you to like, you know what? I think I want to just try this. I think I want to get out there and jump out there and take some of that constructive criticism. I'm glad you talked about that, because sometimes we can get a little intimidated by constructive criticism, but yet it's extremely necessary to have it. So again, tonight, I am so grateful and happy for Joy Pittman joining us tonight. Listen, Real Talk with Jean Price is going to be featured on the Inspired Living Network starting on Friday at 1 o'clock. Listen, we'll be on the same time as everyone else on ABC. And you know what, Joy, you bring value to us. So we are so grateful that you are making our show to be able to go on the network. And you'll be the first show, the second show I think is going to be aired. So I am ready. See that? We got a surprise for you tonight.
Listen, have me back anytime. You are my online bestie.
Yes,
so
you
anytime I can support what you're doing, please let me know. Anytime I can support, please let me know.
Oh, listen, I appreciate that. But you're going to be featured on there. So I'm just saying, so my prayer is that something beautiful be open up for you because of this. If anybody wants a shirt, this is the Real Talk signature shirt. I hope and pray. You can write it in the chat. Some people have my number. You can reach out. We can get it in your size, any kind you want. You can get it in black, you can get it in white. This is who we are. That's Jean Price, Real Talk with Jean Price. And I love it because being real is our power. And tonight we had some powerful information that was downloaded to each and every one of us. Go on YouTube, go on Facebook. You'll find us there. Join us next week on Real Talk with Jean Price, where real talk goes down. We'll see you soon. Good night. I haven't been live. on Real Talk with Jean Price. Upcoming on Real Talk with Jean Price. Become that warrior to that other sister. I dare everybody that's listening to your voice, that I can see the feed, that's listening to my voice. I dare each one of these sisters to get behind somebody else. We don't know what they're facing.